Hello and welcome to the Vicente Calderón in Madrid. Today is a significant milestone on the road to the World Cup in Brazil in 2014, and this is one of the more mouth-watering encounters of the day. Spain against their neighbours and rivals, France. Hello from me, Adrian Healy. Got Robbie Mustoe alongside for commentary, and Robbie, with each European group only guaranteeing one place in Brazil, these meetings between Spain and France are absolutely pivotal.
Well, of course they are, and it always is against these two great nations. 2 World Cups in the last 4 that these two have won, and of course a repeat of the quarter-final of the European Championships in Donetsk in Ukraine that we were lucky enough to be at. So huge game, similar team for Spain, but of course it changes with France now with a new manager in Didier Deschamps.
We're looking at the all-time series history, which is pretty close between the two nations over the course of history. Spain with 14 wins, France with 11. And of course, Spain, when you think of the last half a decade, Robbie, have dominated this series. They've dominated pretty much everything, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've beat France the last few times. They haven't conceded a goal, I think, in the last 3 against them. So they are very strong right now. Some would say the best national team that's ever played the game. That's how strong Spain are right now.
It is less than 4 months since the two nations last met at Euro 2012 in the quarterfinals in Donetsk. This is the World Cup, though, the road to Brazil continuing.
Stuff of legends, the Cup of Dreams. The FA Cup returns to ESPN.
The Sounders continue to prepare for a playoff run when they host FC Dallas. Major League Soccer, Monday on ESPN2. The giants of European club football, all in one place.
Oscar! Magnificent style! What a finish that is! He'll celebrate that!
Listen to that reaction.
Would you ever believe it?
Oh, and he's done it! Brilliant!
That is simply remarkable!
You will not see a better strike all season than that.
The Away for Champions League lives on ESPN.
Oh, what a beauty! Fires a 3. Got it! Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. Is that great basketball or what?
And who earned his stripes as a player with Marseille and Juventus, Chelsea, and actually finished up in Spain with Valencia. And away we go at the home of Atletico Madrid. This is the other stadium, the other big stadium at least, in the city of Madrid, the home of Atletico. And the Spanish national team's fairly infrequent visitors over the years here to the stadium on the banks of the Manzanares River. La Roja, the red against Les Bleus, the Blues of France, although they're wearing white, of course, tonight. And France going from left to right. Both teams perfect in qualification so far, 2 wins out of 2. The French weren't in qualifying action this past Friday, and in fact, Robbie went down to a very disappointing defeat at home to Japan in Paris.
Yeah, not the best preparation, is it, going into a big game like this? But this is the main event of this particular match day for them. Their best team that they can put out is out there right now, and this is going to be the pattern of the match. Spain possessing the ball all the time, trying to get in behind. The French will try and win the ball, but like that, and then get it forward to those front 3 players, the highest of which is going for the ball right now in Karim Benzema, who can give a threat, I think, to those back 4 of Spain, particularly centre-halves in Sergio Busquets and Sergio Ramos. Busquets obviously more of a midfield player than a central defender.
You might remember, those of you who watched Euro 2012 with us, that Spain's victory in that quarter-final was actually their first in a competitive game against France. Here's Fabregas trying to reprise his role from that tournament as that false number 9, so to speak. David Silva, he was in such splendid form throughout that tournament, wasn't he, with 2 goals and 3 assists. And now Iniesta working his way back to fitness too. Can't keep his footing this time. Iniesta, we saw against Belarus, come off the bench to replace Santi Cazorla, who can count himself a little unlucky to miss out tonight, Robert.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in great form for Arsenal, and it was a brilliant performance against Belarus that he was a part of. But what a good start Spain did make against Belarus, and as you see right now, the tempo is high from them. They're trying to get an early breakthrough against France.
Already probing away on this left-hand side with Jordi Alba. Again, back to that game in Donetsk. France actually played 2 right-backs in that game, didn't they, with Reveillère and Debuchy. It was a lineup that raised everyone's eyebrows.
Yeah, and then, of course, the ironic thing was that the goal from Spain came down their side with the ball getting in behind and Xabi Alonso scoring a header, so it didn't work that particular night. But Deschamps a different manager, different ideas. The midfield threes picked Matuidi, Cabaye and Gonalons. They can work hard. They're defensive style midfield players, so that's where the key battle, of course, is going to be against Spain. They will possess the ball for the most part under little pressure in midfield, but of course, as soon as they get in the final attacking third, that's when France need to tighten up.
Now France, in a way, trying to start all over again, because elimination led to recrimination. Some old demons resurfaced, didn't they, for the French? No Samir Nasri in this squad, and that still is a hangover from the eruption at the end of the Euros. Hatem Ben Arfa, another casualty of that dispute.
Yeah, and that's something that Didier Deschamps has got to try and rebuild. He's got to regroup the team. He's got to try and get the French public to believe in the side and be interested in the team yet again, because they've disgraced the nation with their recent antics.
David Silva not going to catch up to that. Jordi Alba, who opened the scoring for Spain in that victory against Belarus. A forward-thinking left-back. He used to be a left midfielder, didn't he, Jordi Alba, in his time with Valencia?
Yeah, and absolutely, he's done a great job of getting in the Spanish national team. Of course, he's moved to Barcelona now, and it's ideal for them as well. He's playing very well, offers a threat in behind as well, believe it or not, as a full-back. He's got that sort of pace. You're going to see him go up and down this left side. Here he is now. He's going to get plenty of the ball, but he'll continue with it. He'll look to play and get forward as well.
Xavi able to settle on the ball for the first time. And switch to Arbeloa. Surprise, surprise, nearly all Spain in the early exchanges, but France, the first chance to spread their wings. And Karim Benzema has been the man under the microscope for the French. His lack of goals in particular have been a source of major concern, almost national angst, Robbie. No goals in his last 8 games for France.
Yeah, I think it even before that. I think he just hasn't been scoring many goals. It's certainly an issue. You think about this French team, they've got some talent. You know, Frank Ribéry on one side, Jeremy Menez, who's a creative player, so it's a bit of a strange one. But I do believe that France will get chances in this game. I know they're away from home, I know against the World Cup and European champions, but they do give you the odd look at goal, Spain, because they're so intent on going forward.
There's Matuidi across to Patrice Evra. Back in at left back tonight. Evra sat out against Japan. Gael Clichy took his spot. No problems posed at all for Spain there. That's Maxime Gonalons winning just his 5th cap. Relatively inexperienced French midfield, isn't it, with Matuidi, Cabaye and Gonalons?
Yeah, I mean, that's where they've had the injury issues, and I'm sure Yann M'Vila would have been a player that would have played. Rio Mavuba as well, and of course Abou Diaby, the Arsenal midfield player, has had a great start domestically. They're all injured, out for this game, so that's where the issues are. But I actually quite like the look of the French midfield because it's got legs, it's got energy, a little bit of aggression as well. That's what you need against the likes of Iniesta, Alonso and Xavi.
Xabi Alonso with the quick restart there. He scored both goals in Donetsk. You might remember one from the penalty spot very late on in that game. on the ball again. Actually scored both goals as well last time Spain played here at the Vicente Calderón. That was against Argentina 3 years ago. Iniesta. Let the ball slip away. Jeremy Menez pouncing on it and Debuchy taking over. The French had numbers forward there, counter-attacking at pace. Busquets had an awkward bounce to deal with, and eventually mopped up by Arbeloa. Ribéry, a little scoop of ingenuity there from the Bayern Munich man. Benzema, though, is going to be called for the foul by Felix Birch. Listen to a lot of French commentators, Robbie. They call Benzema the most talented player in their squad, but also the most indifferent. It's not a great combination, is it?
No, it's not. And you know, of course, we've seen him play so many times at Real Madrid, and you often see a brilliant centre forward, strong, very good finisher. Technique is good, but then you see him playing games where he drifts out of it. You know, what is and who is the real Karim Benzema? And that's what's frustrating, I think, for his national team manager and the fans of France, because they don't get to see the best of Benzema enough.
Will the real Karim Benzema please stand up? Seems to be the message. Only 15 goals in over 50 appearances for his country. Focus at the other end for now, cleared by Cabaye. Spain really just swept a victory in magnificent fashion against Belarus, which had the makings of a potentially awkward trip. Never in any doubt, was it? They got the early breakthrough from Jordi Alba, and then a hat-trick from Pedro. This anticipation from Xabi Alonso. Iniesta turning the corner. David Silva. There's going to be a stoppage here. Player in a little bit of trouble is David Silva.
Yeah, this doesn't look good. He's noticed him indicating to the bench, and he's just posturing as if he's got to come off. There's something wrong. He's pulled something. Hamstring possibly. He's just trying to stretch it out there to see if it's maybe just a twinge or whether he has actually torn the muscle. Very worrying for, of course, Vicente del Bosque here, the Spanish coach. And of course, Roberto Mancini as well, Man City boss of David Silva.
Well, the player the Manchester City fans delight in calling Merlin. I'm sure they will be hoping the Spanish medical team can work some magic of their own. He has specialised at European Championships so far, David Silva, in terms of his national team career. His breakthrough in Austria and Switzerland in 2008. A standout performance this past summer, but the World Cup in South Africa a little bit disappointing for Silva. He's on his way down the tunnel.
Yeah, that's not good news. And we saw Santi Cazorla warming up as well. I guess that's the ideal replacement. Not a bad replacement as well, I have to say.
Cazorla, who's just been in simply sparkling form for Arsenal. As he's saying, not a bad option to have up his sleeve for Vicente del Bosque, and he's got a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible amount of midfield talent right now in Spain. Juan Mata, who's doing so well for Chelsea, hasn't even got in this squad. That's how good the midfield players are at Spain. Cesc Fabregas, other midfield man that's in the team as a striker right now. Again, can play in midfield as well. So a little bit of a shift around. Andres Iniesta, I think, will go into midfield and Cazorla play on the wide, or of course they could interchange that as well. That's very much part of the way that Spain play. They have a back four and a midfield protector, I guess, in Xabi Alonso. The rest of the guys go where they want.
Menez going in the right direction, but unfortunately for him, without the ball. Well, the statistics show that Spain have actually scored more goals without a recognised striker in the last year than they have with one.
There you go, that's interesting, isn't it? A lot of people, pundits in the game, can't understand why Spain don't play with a striker, and they've got some good ones to select from, but it's just the unique style that they play. They almost take it in turns to be the player to run in behind or to be in the central area. Of course, Cesc Fabregas will be the guy for the most part, but don't be surprised if Iniesta, Pedro in particular, maybe Santi Cazorla, when he comes on, will make that run as well.
It's Alba making the run here, Jordi Alba. A little off kilter, the return pass was Cesc Fabregas. You can see Santi Cazorla wearing 20, preparing himself for duty. There is the Arsenal man. It will be his 50th cap that he wins when he comes on. And the next stoppage. Well, this is promising for France. Evra had wriggled free and inside too. Patrice Evra making inroads into the box. Ben was deemed to have left a foot in. And that will end what was briefly, at least, some promising moments for France.
Well, there was some good work from Patrice Evra, the left back there, just a little bit high, wasn't he, on that challenge there? The referee was all over that, saw that coming.
So Santi Cazorla now on in place of the ailing David Silva. And as always, when Spain makes changes in midfield, it's not exactly much of a drop-off in quality.
Yeah, Santi Cazorla, brilliant footballer, there's no question about it. The same mould of all the other midfield players, small, super technical, great vision, and above all, superior football intelligence. That's what the Spanish players have, the ability to make the right decision at the right time, when to pass forward, when to dribble, when to go back, when to shoot, when to cross.
Cazorla down the line for Iniesta, who turns on the jets. Iniesta, not the best clearance, only as far as Xavi. Won't quite break Spain's way. They press on regardless. Jordi Alba. France at full stretch and happy to concede the corner. Marlon Koscielny up against his club teammate now in Santi Cazorla. Two Arsenal men. Xavi's far post delivery. Flicked away by Matuidi. Spain 0, France 0. Just inside the first quarter of an hour here at the Vicente Calderón in Madrid. Santi Cazorla. Allowed space inside the penalty area, but the shot posed no threat to Hugo Lloris, the new Spurs goalkeeper. Of course, he's been battling it out, hasn't he, with Brad Friedel. And Lloris has played the last couple of games for Andre Villas-Boas. 2 clean sheets as well against Lazio and Aston Villa.
Yeah, that's what I guess he'll want. Get in the side, have a couple of good games, then he'll probably stay in. Brad Friedel's been a tremendous goalkeeper and a servant to Spurs, but I guess when you spend a lot of money on a new goalkeeper, at some point he's going to get in the team and stay in.
Well, a lot of people scratching their heads at that move, weren't they, by Spurs to pick up Hugo Lloris, but they've been after him a long time. They actually tried to get him all the way back in 2008. Originally wanted him to replace Paul Robinson. 2 goalkeepers with the nickname Saint facing each other tonight. Saint Lloris and Saint Iker Casillas, who's barely been involved so far, as you might expect for Spain. Debuchy has been. He upends Santi Cazorla. Santi Cazorla again. Jordi Alba has really grabbed hold of that left back spot now, hasn't he? And made it his own. His return to the Barcelona fold at club level.
Just looking at France, you know, the way they've lined up, it pretty much is a 4-1-4-1. You've got Maxime Gonalons, who's playing very close to those two central defenders, just offering that protection, an area of the pitch that so many players from Spain want to try and get into. And they've got McCready and Cabaye, Menez and Ribery almost forming a normal midfield four. Of course, Karim Benzema up front, so it's got to remain compact, just trying to close off all the little avenues, the seams. And the space here wide though for Spain.
Plugging away on this near-hand side, almost continually, the Spanish. And there's shades of that quarter-final meeting in Donetsk. Jordi Alba. Cazorla. And across to meet him at speed was Gonalons. He snuffed out the danger.
It might be that France think, well, okay, you're not going to come through the middle, but we will give you the space on the flanks. We can't mark everywhere, and we'd be happy enough to see the ball go wide, particularly to Arbeloa on the right-hand side, but also at times to Jordi Alba.
Available substitutes for the French, just scrolling across the top of your screen. Olivier Giroud is available. Lloris out to Evra. France 3-1 victors against Belarus at home, and a narrow and nervy 1-0 win at Finland. And their two victories in this group so far. Spain had their problems as well. In their first game, Robbie, a late winner against Georgia away from home from Roberto Soldado. No such problems against Belarus last Friday. We saw that one.
Yeah, we did, and I think it was pretty apparent that there was certainly a little bit of backlash from that game. They've got a bit of criticism why it took them so long to beat lowly Georgia, and they're on fire against Belarus.
Impeccable passing and deadly finishing from the Spanish. Ironically, no one in Spain actually saw that game. It was blacked out on Spanish television. First time a national game hasn't been shown since 1981, apparently. A dispute involving rights fees.
Just Spain might have to show real patience in this game. It's not something that they're not used to. They're just slow from the tempo of the first kind of 10-15 minutes, and going to have to get used to the idea of breaking down a very disciplined and well-organised back line. Looking across here, and Santi Cazorla is just a yard offside there. It's quite a high line from France.
Vicente Del Bosque took over from Luis Aragonés after Euros in 2008. Bringing you some latest scores as well from other European qualifying games. So Italy lead Denmark by a 1-0. Cesc Fabregas. Nice idea. The pass eluding Blaise Matuidi, the Paris Saint-Germain man.
That's the right idea, because as you see, Didier Deschamps there, the midfield player at times is going to have to try and make a forward run to get up in support of Karim Benzema. They can defend like this for long periods, but at some point they have to offer a threat on a counter-attack. Somebody running forward, somebody gambling.
Jeremy Menez. Very easy decision, he made that for Felix Birch. Bowling over his man. We've reached the 20-minute mark. Spain never lack for patience, do they? On Koscielny. Rambunctious run from the Arsenal defender. Took a couple down with him.
Sergio Ramos is going to come into a shot here. There he is. Look at that for a challenge. Sliding, wins the ball cleanly. Great tackle.
The ball inside by Cabaye. There's a player that Vicente Del Bosque mentioned a lot in the build-up to this game, Yohan Cabaye, calling him the French Xavi. Which is high praise indeed.
It is high praise, and he's a very good player, Kabay, but you know, he comes here knowing that it's going to be a very different sort of game. He wants to be on the ball and creating things like Xavi does for Spain, but of course it's going to be mostly defensive, covering holes, working very hard. And try and frustrate Spain. Another shot at that tackle there, sliding challenge from Sergio Ramos.
Ramos is homing in on the century mark, 100 caps for his country, needs another 3. And Italy have made it 2. Daniele De Rossi giving them the extra cushion against Denmark.
Good shot right now. You can see how many players are in the middle of the pitch there. Both fullbacks of Spain are going to be in space. Arbeloa, and here we are with Jordi Alba.
Santi Cazorla. And a thundering challenge from Koscielny. It was a fair one, albeit at the expense of the corner.
Felix Birch, the referee there, you see he's got a good view of that. He's only 10 yards away, and slide tackle is very much part of the game.
Now Iniesta, he wriggled his way free with such ingenuity, and then there's a collector's item for you, completely whiffed.
I think there was a smile on his face as well. European Player of the Year, here we go. Have some of that.
Actually quite reassuring for the rest of us, Robbie.
Absolutely.
Even Iniesta's human.
Yeah.
Menez. Every now and then they've threatened to launch bids down the left-hand side, have Didier Deschamps' team. Looking to get ever forward in support of Ribéry. Didier Deschamps yesterday calling Spain a role model for us all. What they do is simply incredible. There seem to be different messages for the French in terms of their prospects in this game. The French journalists and the media coming out with phrases like zero optimism, but Karim Benzema suggesting they could spring a surprise here. It's Jordi Alba. He's trying to spring his way through the French defence.
He's got so much pace. That's what makes him very difficult to mark there. Just gets away with it a little bit. Mathieu Debuchy's got to be a bit careful there with the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Does well to recover there and make the sliding tackle again.
Koscielny against his former teammate in Fabregas. Had a year together in North London. That proved to be Fabregas's last year with Arsenal. Xavi sent in the corner. Oh, Sergio Ramos off the post. It's still up for grabs, and second time does the trick. Well, he still had his head in his hands, having missed the first opportunity. No such mistake with the second, and Spain have their breakthrough.
Well, Didier Deschamps got to be so disappointed, conceding to Spain at a set piece, at a corner kick. Look at that, the reaction from Sergio Ramos. It does him a favour because he stands still in reaction. That pulls defenders away from him. Take a look at this. Stands still, nobody bothers to mark him. It comes right back to his right foot, right in front of goal, and almost misses that, puts it into the roof of the goal, and then the celebrations, the spectacular celebrations come from Sergio Ramos.
We'll give him a 9.8 for the celebration. It's his 7th international goal. As you said, Robbie, one that will provoke a lot of unrest in the heart of the French defence. A, to leave him open for that length of time on the initial header, and then B, not to mark him on the follow-up.
You can look through the Spain lineup. I'm sure Didier Deschamps done it many times. There's 2 players that can head the ball, Sergio Busquets and Sergio Ramos. 2 players to mark at a set piece, and yet Sergio Ramos seems to have like 2 yards around him to make that first header.
I was mentioning the French words yesterday. Karim Benzema said, "We will play like warriors here tonight." Well, we're going to need to play like warriors. I haven't really seen much evidence of it so far. Here's Pedro. He's had a quiet first period of the game, but bursts into life there. The man who scored a hat-trick against Belarus on Friday.
Yeah, and there's just a little bit of determination to get a shot at goal. You're right, it's seen very little of the ball, Pedro, but that time, even though there was a great run again from Jordi Alba, who's done that 2 or 3 times now, where he's almost killed himself to get down the outside and hasn't seen the ball at the end of the run.
Now, that hat-trick by Pedro, incidentally, against Belarus was the first of his professional career. No bad stage on which to get one, a World Cup qualifier.
Yeah, and he's just switched sides now with Santi Cazorla for the time being, just trying to get involved in the match, get a little bit of possession of the ball.
If you're just joining us on this significant day of World Cup qualifying action, again, no Fernando Torres, no David Villa, Spain going without recognised striker once more, and it's a central defender who's got them in front, Sergio Ramos. The breakthrough just a couple of minutes ago.
What France have done a bad job of is keeping possession when they win the ball back. There's been a few situations, you mentioned it with Patrice Evra on the left, certainly Debuchy made a run on the right-hand side. They are willing to get forward, but if you give the ball away every time you get it back, then you're never going to build any attacks.
Menez. Debuchy swinging in the cross, Benzema. We get free of his club teammate Arbeloa. He took Busquets with him. Spain really hunt as a pack, don't they, to get the ball back when they don't have it.
France just need to put 4, 5, 6, 7 passes together right here. Give them a break. Get Spain moving about a little bit without the ball. Work them.
Gone along. Debuchy rose to meet it, could do nothing with it. Mathieu Debuchy, as Germany had a third against Sweden. And Mertesacker getting in on the act.
3 goals for Germany in a game that was always seen as being a tricky one against Zlatan Ibrahimovic in Sweden. No problem for the Germans.
It's starting to look a little better for the Irish, isn't it, after their 6-1 mauling on Friday. Perhaps Germany really are that good. Debuchy. There's an important leg he stuck out there. France for a while seemed to be on the right track under Laurent Blanc, certainly leading into Euro 2012. A lot of people thought perhaps they were even dark horses when it came to the tournament. They were on a long unbeaten run under Blanc, stretched actually to 23 games. But it all ended so tamely for them, didn't it? They lost, first of all, to Sweden in their final group game. That's where the rot really set in.
Yeah, and just we were amazed at how poor they were against Spain, with no kind of attempt to get forward. Very, very defensive.
The back foot again here as Iniesta releases Pedro. It's going to be yet another corner. I wonder if they'll bother to mark Sergio Ramos this time.
Well, Mamadou Sakho, Paris Saint-Germain central defender. Laurent Koscielny, not a big player, Koscielny, in terms of marking. You can see him in the middle of the picture there. He's picked up Cesc Fabregas. There's Busquets, and there's the match-up there, isn't it? And Sakho.
Spain work it short instead. Much better angle now for Xavi to work with. Fabregas couldn't turn the corner. Enough Nothing is going France's way. It was Benzema and Arbeloa. Real Madrid clash in the centre of the pitch. Benzema adjudged to have fouled his teammate. So if he really did anything wrong there, Robert?
I don't think so. There's a little bit of contact, but what do you expect when the ball's in between two players in the air? You're going to go for it. It just seems to me that France, you know, they're so concentrated about their positions. And when you look at them, they look well organised. And for the most part, they haven't had a problem against Spain in this first 32 minutes now. But I sometimes think that teams forget to play. When they get the ball, they forget to express themselves and keep hold of it. They're just so focused on stopping Spain all the time.
Well, there is a mesmeric quality, isn't there, about watching Spain, but it's not supposed to apply if you're actually trying to play against them. Now, the United States against Guatemala, the second part of our big double-header today on ESPN2. Coverage will start at 6:30 p.m. for our audience in the United States on ESPN2. That game being played at Livestrong Sporting Park in Kansas City. Ian Dark and Taylor Twellman will be with you. Full crew on site too. I hope you're enjoying the early stages of this one with us. Adrian Healy and Robbie Mustoe watching Spain and France meeting for the second time in less than 4 months. This is a different competition, and this is carrying Benzema on his way. Benzema's shots was goal bound until Casillas intervenes. Real Madrid keeper stopping Real Madrid striker.
Now there he's in the inside left position carrying Benzema. That is a good effort, a really strong effort on his weaker side, his left foot. Casillas, like he was struggling there to keep that one out. It's going to give him and France encouragement.
And they could certainly do with some. The first corner of the game, which Jeremy Menez takes. No pressure on the ball though, a free header out for Fabregas. According to Didier Deschamps, they barely deserved to lose that home friendly to Japan, and they did outshoot the Japanese by a 21-3 margin, but lost to a late goal from Shinji Kagawa, the Manchester United man.
Just got to forget about that now and just try and find a way of getting back into this game. They're behind now, they've got to develop their game going forward.
Well, Denmark have got a goal back against Italy. They lead 2-1 at half-time. Goal from William Kvist, you might remember him from European Championships this past summer.
Got to find a way of getting Frank Ribéry into the game, Adrian. I think he's the best player for France, but hasn't seen anything of the ball on that left-hand side.
That's Debuchy, who saw the ball on the right-hand side and is feeling the pain. Took a knee in the small of the back there, Matthew Debuchy. He won his first cap less than a year ago. The Lille defender, who was very much thought to be in the shop window this past summer. People thought he might get a big offer from a much bigger European team. It actually didn't transpire. Still with Lille in his 8th year now.
He's going to be okay, Adrian. Just got a little jar, didn't he, towards his lower back area there. Be amazed if he has to come out of the game because of that. And of course, Spain knocked the ball out, so they will receive it back again from France.
To go in the first half here at the Vicente Calderón, home of Atletico Madrid, and of course that meant Fernando Torres had a huge incentive to play a part here tonight. He hasn't actually played in this stadium since he left Atletico. Tweedy falling foul of the law here. Santi Cazorla. A combination with Arbeloa, who to wind his way into the penalty area. Santi Cazorla winding up for the shot. Pedro turning on the Jets. Pedro and the layoff for Iniesta. And generally saves his goals for the big occasion, doesn't he, Andres Iniesta?
I just wonder if Pedro could have pulled the trigger just before this layback to Iniesta. It's a harder shot, is it, from there? Pedro's got a great header steam going at the last defender there. A little step over maybe on that last player to try and get a shot at goal. That's where France are going to be better for me. Shows you can play a little bit, shows you've got good players in there that play at top European clubs. I haven't seen it so far.
And you mentioned Ribéry, here's a chance for him on the ball, but it doesn't last long. Benzema trying to make things happen, and does. The Spanish don't like the decision here. Free kick conceded. It was Benzema who was upended.
Xabi Alonso here just reaching in. It's a foul. Doesn't get enough of the ball there. Certainly he's reaching around the outside of the striker. This is a chance for France now. I'm going to argue got a little tiny piece of the ball to start with, but not enough. They've got to have good delivery here and work this man, Iker Casillas.
What does Didier Deschamps and his French side have up their sleeves? It's curled in beautifully, in fact, and bang across the face of goal and in. But is it going to be given offside? It is. Jeremy Menez, who was literally on the goal line. Well, it was a delicious ball across, wasn't it, Robbie, initially? But we'll come back to it because Spain have gone right down the other end and are threatening themselves. Pedro. And he's won a free kick. The free kick from Cabaye was a real treat for France. I think it was Benzema beyond the far post, Robbie, who nodded it back across. I'm not going to be able to look at it just yet.
Just yet, no. This is Frank Ribéry, just a little bit too aggressive there on Pedro at the other end, but you're absolutely right. Look at that football. Brilliant ball in. That's fantastic. Is he behind him there? My goodness, that's close, isn't he? That is close. Didier Deschamps not sure about it as well, and I'm not sure. And that ball is nodded back. If he's behind the ball, he was not in offside position.
Well, certainly in front of the last defender, wasn't he? But, as he said, where was he in relation to the ball? It all happens at such lightning quick speed. France didn't get the benefit of the decision. In comes Xavi's free kick. But again, perhaps just a glimmer of optimism there for the French, Robbie.
I mean, it was a set piece, Adrian, and that's what they might have to live off. I mean, they had a decent bit of football. They get the set piece around 20 yards out there, 25 yards out, a good ball into the centre. But I'm sure Didier Deschamps was still wanting to play better in general play and create their own chances.
Just a little glimpse of that warrior spirit that Karim Benzema talked about yesterday coming to the surface. We're going to need a lot more of that, though. Always plenty to worry about at the other end too, with Pedro and Santi Cazorla. Pedro's inch-perfect ball finds Arbeloa. Little touch on for Pedro. Oh, it was a really ugly challenge, careless. And Koscielny has conceded the penalty in reckless manner. A booking too for the Arsenal man, and just when things were looking a little brighter for France, it's turned sour again. What was Laurent Koscielny thinking?
Well, he should know better. Absolutely disappointed his teammates there. look like they're almost back in the game, come steaming across here. I mean, that's one of the worst challenges you're going to see from a central defender, an experienced central defender as well. Pedro's quick, he's lightning fast, he's got quick feet. Look at that. It's almost that he's not even going for the ball, Laurent Koscielny there, nowhere near it. Hacks the shins of Pedro inside the penalty box. Crazy.
Well, Pedro won a penalty against France, didn't he, in that Euro quarter-final in Donetsk. Xabi Alonso took it and scored. Now it's Cesc Fabregas trying to do the same. It's saved, though, by Lloris. The Spurs man coming to the rescue of the Arsenal man, and France are still in this.
Well, they are. Lloris guesses the right way. Cesc Fabregas is frustrated. He's had a difficult first half. We haven't seen him in the game, really, have we? Cesc Fabregas up front. He's been closely marked. And what a chance there to make his mark in the game. He misses the penalty.
Interesting that Fabregas is the man to step up and take this. And it was a savable height all along, wasn't it, for Lloris?
It really was. Good height for him. He just has to guess the right way. There's a couple of little delays in the run-up, wasn't there, from Cesc Fabregas? And I always think when the goalkeeper doesn't move on those little fakes, if you like, then the taker's in a bit of trouble. He isn't quite sure which side to put it at, and of course he goes to his natural side there on the right footer. That would be to the keeper's right.
Well, the outrageous swings of fortune in the game. Laurent Koscielny will be sending a little thank you note there to Hugo Lloris. Couple of minutes to go in the first half that has certainly far exceeded what we saw in Donetsk less than 4 months ago. Spain looking to increase their recent dominance over France. They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings.
I've got to say, in general, defensively, France have looked quite strong, well organised, very compact. It's not as though Spain have been ripping them apart with their football that they normally do against their opponents.
Benzema may have a chance to nick this through for Ribéry. It may still come Frank Ribéry's way because Evra has latched onto it. Now Ribéry has it. And given away in a rather careless manner by Frank Ribéry. Now all of a sudden it's a long way back for the retreating French troops. And Spain look to pounce with Pedro. Xavi, Pedro, brilliant! First shot save, Fabregas with a follow-up. And Hugo Lloris is earning his nickname Saint Lloris at the moment.
Well, there was a great ball through, and this is it. Xavi there with a fantastic little clip with the outside of his right foot right into the possession of Pedro in front of goal, and Hugo Lloris, brilliant goalkeeping, very quick here, which is key. Getting up, sets himself again, he knows where he is, he knows where the posts are, and makes the second save.
Sergio Ramos penalised from the resulting corner. Really absorbing first half here, Lloris. As we saw him do a couple of times with Spurs. Rather suspect clearance, he got away with it again though. Iniesta. Well, both sides, Robbie, will go in at half-time feeling perhaps they should have had a little more from the first half. France with a goal ruled out for a questionable offside call. There's nothing questionable about that decision, gone along in fiercely.
He'll be lucky if he doesn't get a yellow card for that challenge. Very late there, Gonalon's a defensive midfield player. In fact, he does get a yellow card for that.
Indeed, could easily have been more. 2-1 wouldn't have been an unrealistic scoreline at this stage, but just the one goal. Sergio Ramos, having seen his initial header hit the post, was on hand to ram home the rebound. But should France have had an equaliser here? We'll discuss that when we look at all the first half highlights. It does appear, doesn't it, that Jeremy Menez was behind the ball and shouldn't have been given offside.
Was there a first flick here that the linesman might have been flagging for? Was he offside initially? The flag seemed to go up really early. I agree, I think he's behind the ball there. And he nods it into the back of the net, Jeremy Menez.
All the first half highlights, and for those of you watching the United States, a preview of the United States against Guatemala to come at halftime.
This is November on ESPN2, the FA Cup, ATP World Tour Tennis, and the NBA season tips off.
Look at Westbrook!
This is November on ESPN2.
The Sounders continue to prepare for a playoff run when they host FC Dallas. Major League Soccer, Monday on ESPN2.
The battle for poker's ultimate prize is here. The game's hottest players are all in for a jackpot worth over $8.5 million and some bling.
The only way you're going to beat me is if you get lucky.
I won!
We play 16 hours straight to get to the final table.
From Las Vegas, the 2012 World Series of Poker main event, Sunday on ESPN.
The NFL on ESPN storms into Week 7 with a huge matchup. The Seattle Seahawks have been one of the big surprises this season with their play. Now, the test is on when they head to San Francisco to battle the powerhouse 49ers. It's an NFC West showdown. Seahawks, 49ers, live Friday on ESPN, the home of the NFL.
The stuff of legends. The Cup of Dreams. The FA Cup returns to ESPN. The UEFA Champions League. Exclusively live on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN3.com.
The pride and passion is back. Every week, the game's biggest contenders and rivals clash in the drive to a national championship.
Down the middle, got it! Touchdown, USA!
Experience the excitement and glory of college football.
Explodes, breaks free, all the barbecue you want, young man.
All season long on ESPN2.
It's Monday night, the first night of the week, the last chance for football.
Come on, Jerry.
And we'll all be watching because it all comes down to Monday night.
Welcome back. This is the scene at the Vicente Calderon, down by the banks of the River Manzanares in the Spanish capital city, Madrid. Spain leading France here by 1-0 in this World Cup 2014 qualifier. Took you back through the main moments of the first half. Spain had to be patient, Robbie, but they got a deserved breakthrough in the 25th minute. Sergio Ramos thought the chance had gone, but another came his way.
It did. I mean, I'm not sure how he's not picked up in the centre of the box. Only one of two that can head the ball. And then he stands still in disappointment as he hasn't scored, and the shot comes back off Hugo Lloris here, who makes a save from Pedro's effort there, right into the path of Sergio Ramos on the 6 yards box, and he'll take that.
It took France more than half an hour to seriously threaten the Spanish goal. It was Karim Benzema who did so when the moment arrived. Iker Casillas forced to go down low and tip it away.
Yeah, and it's difficult, isn't it, for Casillas when you're playing a game when you just don't see the ball, and all of a sudden you've got to make a save. And this is a good save, and it's a good effort from Benzema as well. He gets good power and accuracy on that strike with his left foot.
Then, after France had a goal ruled out for offside, things got much worse for them, and in particular for Laurent Koscielny. That was an agricultural challenge, Robbie.
Yeah, it was awful, absolutely awful. No complaints from him. He realised this was a bad challenge.
But he got out of jail, didn't he? And the man with the key was Hugo Lloris, who came out with the save to deny Cesc Fabregas.
Oh, good save, he reads it, he isn't full from the run-up from Cesc Fabregas, and somehow that game remained at 1-0.
73% of the ball, that's all, for the Spanish in the first 45 minutes. Just the one shot on target from France, and we saw it.
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing, isn't it, from France? We understand it's going to be very difficult in terms of possession, but you've got to keep hold of the ball when you win it and get people forward and try and create something in terms of a counter-attack and scoring goals.
They will feel, though, that they had another shot on goal and that should have counted. The header from Jeremy Menez that was ruled offside. Now, for those of you watching the United States, stay tuned for a preview of USA against Guatemala. For the rest of you, some other highlights to follow.
The NFL on ESPN storms into Week 7 with a huge matchup. The Seattle Seahawks have been one of the big surprises this season with their play. Now, the test is on when they head to San Francisco to battle the powerhouse 49ers. It's an NFC West showdown. Seahawks, 49ers, live Friday on ESPN, the home of the NFL.
This is November on ESPN2, American College Football. The UEFA Champions League and the NBA season tips off.
Fires a three. Bang!
This is November on ESPN2.
The pride and passion is back. Every week, the game's biggest contenders and rivals clash in the drive to a national championship.
Down the middle, got it! Touchdown, USA!
Experience the excitement and glory of college football.
Explodes, breaks free, all the barbecue you want, young man.
All season long on ESPN2.
As the new season begins, we bring you a big-time doubleheader as the reigning champion Miami Heat take on the Knicks. Then, the Clippers and Lakers battle for Los Angeles. Saturday, November 3rd on ESPN.
The stuff of legends. The Cup of Dreams. The FA Cup returns to ESPN.
The Sounders continue to prepare for a playoff run when they host FC Dallas. Major League Soccer. Monday on ESPN2.
The battle for poker's ultimate prize is here. The game's hottest players are all in for a jackpot worth over $8.5 million and some bling.
The only way you're going to beat me is if you get lucky.
I won!
We play 16 hours straight to get to the final table.
From Las Vegas, the 2012 World Series of Poker main event, Sunday on ESPN. The UEFA Champions League. Exclusively live on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN3.com.
Welcome back. This is the Vicente Calderon, home of Atletico Madrid and home of the Spanish national team for the night, as they lead France by 1-0 here in this World Cup 2014 qualifier in European Group I. Let's take the chance to bring you some other highlights. A game that's already finished. This is a big one between the two perfect teams in their group, Romania and the Netherlands. And this went the way of the Dutch from the early stages, didn't it? Jermaine Long's given them the lead after just 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's a great start, isn't it, against Romania? They've had a great start to the qualifying campaign there. Header that just looped in right over the top of the defender.
And then the 29th minute, it quickly became 2 with Martins on hand. Romania did get one back through Marika, but Van der Vaart from the penalty spot quickly made it 3 to quieten the crowd. Robin van Persie added a 4th, a 4-1 victory for the Dutch on the road. That was a definitive statement from the brilliant Orange.
Yeah, and I think everyone's waiting to see how they were going to do with the new manager, Van Gaal, in charge right now. Lots of changes in the team, but that certainly is a very impressive result.
Other full-time scores include the Republic of Ireland getting back on track, albeit in the Faroe Islands, with a 4-1 victory. See Estonia victorious. Other full-times, a narrow win for Russia, but they keep on getting it done, don't they, under Fabio Capello?
Yeah, he's got the magic touch, it seems. A team that like to be well organised, and of course he has a very strict disciplinarian approach to it all, and that's a good scoreline for Russia right there.
Israel also victorious in that Group F, where Portugal are currently 0-0 with Northern Ireland. That game a little behind ours, just underway. Bosnia and Herzegovina getting a victory in Group G, and early doors as well in Group H with Montenegro on the board against Ukraine. Nothing going Ukraine's way at the moment. Moldova and San Marino, and Poland against England actually in a big delay at the moment. All sorts of problems in Warsaw involving the roof and the lack of a roof closing. Spain, a goal to the good here against France.
The NFL on ESPN storms into Week 7 with a huge matchup. The Seattle Seahawks have been one of the big surprises this season with their play. Now, the test is on when they head to San Francisco to battle the powerhouse 49ers. It's an NFC West showdown. Seahawks, 49ers, live Friday on ESPN, the home of the NFL.
The pride and passion is back. Every week, the game's biggest contenders and rivals clash in the drive to a national championship.
Down the middle, got it! Touchdown, USA!
Experience the excitement and glory of college football.
Explodes, breaks free, all the barbecue you want, young man.
All season long on ESPN2.
The battle for poker's ultimate prize is here. The game's hottest players are all in for a jackpot worth over $8.5 million and some bling.
The only way you're going to beat me is if you get lucky. I won! We play 16 hours straight to get to the final table.
From Las Vegas, the 2012 World Series of Poker main event, Sunday on ESPN.
This is ESPN Cricinfo, the #1 cricket destination, with unmatched live coverage, breaking news, analysis, features and stats. ESPN Cricinfo takes you to the heart of the action. On the ball, every ball. And with the new iPad app, you get all the excitement straight to your tablet. So wherever you are, if it's cricket, it's on ESPN Cricinfo.
The Sounders continue to prepare for a playoff run when they host FC Dallas. Major League Soccer, Monday on ESPN2.
I would have liked even more. Wouldn't it be nice if he just went on and on and on like a beach boy and then went and had fun in his room afterwards?
I was a little disappointed.
Daddy put his car away.
Fact. I was a little disappointed by that. He could have broken the bat over his knee. Fact. He could have ripped his shirt off and gone like Incredible Hulk or something. You know?
Point to Michael Smith Page. I had such a hard time following your Beach Boys references.
Don't miss Around the Horn all week on ESPN2.
Weird web stories. Louisiana Tech offensive lineman dancing.
You don't even need to say anything else.
I'm not.
Offensive lineman dancing says it all.
Don't forget to watch Weird Web Stories daily. Sports Nation, ESPN.
Welcome back, everyone, as we bring you back to the Vicente Calderon, home of Atletico Madrid and home of Spain for the night. Should it have been the place where France equalised? This was the goal that was ruled out for offside, Robbie.
Yeah, see, I think as this ball is headed back, we're not going to see from this angle here. The first ball, there's a question mark as well. He doesn't head it there, Menez. This, though, I think is fine. I think Menez stays behind the ball as it's headed across there. That's the key. He's got to be behind the ball. And I think he was at the moment there that it was headed across. Menez puts it into the back of the net. Now, was there a flick earlier? Was Benzema potentially offside as the free kick was played into the centre? Maybe. You couldn't see from that angle, but very, very big call there from the referee.
And then, of course, Spain went right down the other end, won a penalty, which they subsequently missed. So, really intriguing end to the first half. Still Sergio Ramos with the goal that separates the sides. Spain against France, and France the last nation to actually knock Spain out of a major tournament back at World Cup 2006. And that first knockout round meeting in Hanover, which the French won by 3-1. And of course, from that moment onwards, Spain have won everything.
No, they've been dominant. They've been superb. The style of football is what I think what's most impressed people. The unique style that they play. I haven't seen a team possess the ball, keep it, and so technical ever before. And of course, their penetration is the key. We haven't seen so much of their penetration in this game because France have been well organised, but it certainly is there waiting to come out, I'm sure.
Well, periods of sustained dominance are so rare, aren't they, at the international level? Especially when you're looking at the global picture. And Spain have already come up with an unprecedented 3 major titles in a row and be shooting to make it 4 in Brazil. Got to get there first, though. And this is Group I, with 2 European powerhouses matched together, and that in itself is a bit of a rarity. Not so often you see 2 of the top teams in the world actually coming up against each other in European qualification. You might say, well, are France really a top team in the world? Well, it's still ranked number 13 in the world by FIFA. That's one more than Brazil.
Yeah, well, there you go. And I think what's unusual about it is that you see in a game now that the neutral will look at this game and say, my goodness, this is one-sided. You know, the team in red are all over the team in white. They have the ball all the time. They're near the goal. But that's just an indication of how good this Spanish team is. It really is. France will have their game plan, which is exactly the same in the first half, to remain compact and get situations like this where they can win the ball and spring forward.
Ribéry had a quiet first half. A man once called the jewel of French football by no less an authority than Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like him a lot. He's got pace. He's got an eye for goal. Good skill.
Well, we saw David Silva go off early in the first half with a knock, and now Alvaro Arbeloa looks to be ailing. Well, that could pave the way for the hometown member of this Spanish squad to make an appearance. Juan Fran seems to be limbering up. So a second unscheduled change, so to speak, for Vicente Del Bosque is in the offing. Juan Fran, who plays right here at the Vicente Calderon for Atletico Madrid. He appears to be on the verge of winning just his 4th cap, and he's receiving some last-minute instructions from Vicente Del Bosque. Debuchy hemmed in. Del Bosque yesterday, Robbie, saying about Spain that we need to constantly evolve to stay one step ahead of opponents who study the way we play very closely.
I 100% agree, and you know, everybody's going to watch this team. They're going to study them, they're going to watch video on them, they're going to see where the strengths are, how they can potentially stop them. And I think what we've seen, both with Spain and with Barcelona in particular, is I think teams have figured out they've got to remain compact. You can't be too deep, which means that defensive line has got to stay away from the edge of their own box. They've got to risk a little space in behind just to make it compact so Spain can't play through you.
Well, some defending from the front there by Frank Ribery. That's what happens, of course, sometimes when you get forward men making tackles. He's 6 of one, half a dozen the other here, although it's a slightly high foot from Ribery.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, they both had their feet up going for the ball. It's a bouncing ball. What are you meant to do? I mean, you've got to challenge for your feet for that. As you've seen now, Juanfran, the right back coming into the game. Here he is, and more of a attacking sort of player, can play wide midfield as well. He's more like Jordi Alba, I guess, and Arbeloa is a regular standard fullback.
It's a big night for him, isn't it? The 27-year-old has only recently forced his way into the national team picture. Just his 4th cap. Of course, the crowd wondering whether they're going to see one of their all-time heroes at all tonight. That would be Fernando Torres. Vicente Del Bosque now has just one more change to make.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good move as well. I don't think Cesc Fabregas has played well, Adrian. I don't think this game suits him. He loves the little spaces, the pockets. He's found it very difficult to get on the ball. Look how compact it is between the back line and the midfield line of France. That's what makes it difficult for him, in particular, to get involved and make an impact.
Pedro chipping away at Debuchy there. To Jordi Alba. A spin move from him doesn't quite come off. It's almost a matter of routine, isn't it, for Spain when they do lose the ball? They win it back so quickly. Juanfran. Rise in the air of expectancy in the local crowd. Juanfran matching those expectations with a surging run. But now Ribery, let's try and exploit the gap left behind him. On it goes towards Benzema. Jordi Alba determined to match him stride for stride, leaning in, and in fact has got the decision in his favour. Benzema adjudged to have been the aggressor.
Yeah, I thought this could have gone either way, actually, but Benzema gets around most players, but not Jordi Alba because he's so quick. Great acceleration from Alba, shoulder to shoulder, battling for the ball, and the referee gives it in favour of Spain. But that's what Jordi Alba gives you as well. He gives you that ability to get forward. He's technically good as well. But of course, he's so fast, so when he's back there in situations where there is a bit of a panic up, he can get back and sort it out.
Santi Cazorla. Just beyond the range of Cesc Fabregas. France almost playing themselves into a sticky situation. Xavi. Iniesta taking over. Determined to stay on his feet. Could easily have gone down there. Sure, Hugo Lloris wanted the ball played back in that particular situation, but he got it clear. Not much relief, though, not much respite from the constant pressure and prodding and probing that Spain always provide.
Yeah, but they're having to go wide, Adrian. That's the key. They want to go inside. Right now, they want to go through the middle. There you go. Got it that time.
Debuchy with a Route 1 clearance. This amazing record that Spain have put together, particularly when you look at qualifying campaigns. They've actually won their last 24 qualifiers for both the World Cup and the European Championships. That's not unbeaten. That's 24 straight victories, Robert.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is. It just shows you the attacking flair that they have and the way that they manage to find a way to score goals, and that's what's so key about it. They don't keep ball just for keeping it safe. They penetrate. They look to penetrate all the time.
Juan Fran is the latest to do so. Last time Spain failed to win any sort of qualifier over 5 years ago, September of 2007. A 1-1 draw against Iceland, of all people. If you're wondering the last time they were beaten, you have to go back even further, October of 2006, when they lost to Sweden. It's the measure of the task facing the French here tonight. And the level of optimism from the media, the French media, I think they'd declare a public holiday if they took anything home with them from this encounter.
Yeah, I mean, it is a group competition. This isn't a very difficult away game for France. If they can get a point out of this, they've got every chance still right now at 1-0, absolutely in the game. Then it'll be a great result for them.
And remember, just the winners of Group I go through automatically to Brazil. The runners-up have to face the treacherous path of the European playoffs. There's going to be some big names. Some names you'd rather not play. Almost certainly in the hat when it comes to those playoffs. Teams that finish second. Here's Karim Benzema. Gonalon. Wide to Jeremy Menez. Menez is back in France now, playing with the big money club, Paris Saint-Germain. 3-year spell in Italy, playing for Roma. This wasn't the happiest time for Jeremy Menez. Scored a goal for France at the Euros in the victory against Ukraine, and it's Maxime Gonalon who's going to be removed here. And this is a positive move, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Valbuena, very much an attacking wide player, small dribbler. Gonalon is the holding midfield player now, is out of the game, so a different system, more players to get forward. It's the right time to do it as well. More than nearly an hour played in the game, and France are behind. They have to do something. Deschamps made a positive move.
Early score from Germany, and Sweden making a bit of a comeback there. They were 4-0 down in that game, got it back to 4-2. Ibrahimovic amongst the goals for the Swedes. Talking of PSG players. Pedro, who's scored 5 goals in his last 3 games for the national team now. A hat-trick against Belarus and a double against Saudi Arabia in a friendly a couple of months ago. Evra to Ribéry. Back to Patrice Evra. Ribéry! Oh, it opened up for him and he rippled it into the side netting. His first serious look at goal.
Well, that's good work initially from Patrice Evra here. Forced nicely for Frank Ribéry there, and he just takes an early shot, gets great power on this. Not much of a backlift here, there's not much space to it. There's very little deflection as well, I think. As that shot comes in there, it's very close, isn't it?
Spain escape any further damage from the corner. Casillas trying to launch a counter-attack. Certainly some more seeds for French optimism have been sown here. Frank Ribéry, who scored against Spain in that victory in the World Cup at 2006 in Germany. It was Ribéry's first ever goal for France. And he's on the move here again.
Mathieu Valbuena is playing just in behind Karim Benzema, so he's kind of a withdrawn striker. Menez still on the right hand side and Ribéry on the left, but it's certainly obviously more of an attacking move. There he is, number 8, Valbuena, be ready to counter-attack when they win the ball back.
Jordi Alba skipping around the back delightfully, and Fabregas Mamadou Sakho, a really stalwart piece of defensive work there. Sakho managed to deny Fabregas, and now Benzema is on the move. Or rather Ribéry, Benzema in support. Ribéry has found Benzema. The flag has gone up. And there shouldn't be nearly as much doubt about this particular instance.
Well, this is better, isn't it? France having a go. Love to see it. Having an attack at Spain, put him on the back foot. Might mean they're a little bit more susceptible to concede a goal. More space now in midfield with Gonalons gone from that area. Might see a little bit more of Cesc Fabregas, Iniesta, Cazorla. But for the most part, you have to say, particularly in the second half, been fairly quiet.
And France again pouncing. Benzema could be through here. Karim Benzema just wouldn't ever settle for him, and credit Xabi Alonso, he wouldn't allow it to settle. What a challenge that was from the Real Madrid man. Now Santi Cazorla. Reached the hour mark at the Vicente Calderón. This game has a wide open feel about it at the moment. It's Valbuena.
Great work from Blaise Matuidi in midfield there, winning the ball from Iniesta. That's the key. That is the key. If you can take the ball from those guys when they're going forward and take care of the ball like France are doing right now, then you're going to have a chance.
Nez losing out to the hustling Pedro, has continued his run and is rewarded. Pedro trying to set the table here. On it goes to Xavi. Wow. Xavi's first touch for once deserted him, allowed Koscielny to come across and intervene.
I can't believe it. The player that's probably got the best first touch out there. Here's a look at that offside from before. That's closer than I thought, you know. It certainly was offside, but only just.
It was a lot closer, wasn't it, than it initially appeared. I think they got it right, though. What a completely different dynamic to this game than the one we saw in Donetsk in that Euro quarter-final. France seem to have got some self-belief back here. Ribéry trying to ramp it up another notch or two. That's a slack pass from him gave Valbuena no chance. Only Spain's 10th visit to the Vicente Calderón here in national team history. Of the previous 9, they've won 7 and drawn 2. And Spain really don't have a national home, a national stadium per se. They do switch their games all around the country.
You see what that's given the French as well. Just a little bit of extra bite in their movement, the determination to win the ball back, to get stuck in. And it's a different game now, you said it. Right, so Valbuena, this guy here has made a difference, and tactically they're a little different. I think France have enjoyed that.
Shocking scoreline coming in for the Portuguese, who trail at home to Northern Ireland. A goal to nil. Remember, Portugal lost in Russia on Friday. Here's Jordi Alba. Another jet-heeled adventure from Jordi Alba, but no end product this time. Koscielny. It's easy to forget about Laurent Koscielny because he is 27, in the middle of his career, but he's a relative newcomer. International level, isn't he? Just his 6th cap tonight. to Valbuena. The current Marseille man with the former Marseille man on the ball now in Frank Ribéry. Driving to the byline. What a great cross that was. Benzema couldn't take advantage. He might still. He's teed it up for Cabaye. France doing some fairly heavy pounding on the Spanish door here. Evra. Ribéry again, 2 for company. He couldn't solve the puzzle. Xabi Alonso will try and be the release foul for Spain.
Just get a feeling they're missing Sergio Busquets in midfield, Adrian. When the ball turns over and breaks down, Spain are struggling in there. Xabi Alonso and Xavi Hernandez in there, and Iniesta. They don't really want to work all the way back. Busquets is used to doing that job. Of course, he's playing as a central defender.
Still Spain 1, France 0 here in Madrid. 20 minutes into the second half. And France giving a much better account of themselves than they did Deschamps than they did 4 months ago at the Euros. He promised a more pragmatic and physical approach. Also said rather cryptically before the game that it's not always the team that dominates possession that gets the result. And France were victims of it themselves. That's as Fabregas tried to nip in Lloris, though, with some quick thinking.
Yes, really good goalkeeping, you know. He's got quick feet, good acceleration to cut that one out, because it looked like Cesc Fabregas was in there, a clever through ball.
The flag has stayed down here. Benzema, only Sergio Ramos for company. Benzema! Well, Menez was ghosting in late, too late.
Great defending. Look where Sergio Ramos is showing Karim Benzema. He knows all about him, obviously. He wants him on his left foot. You're not coming inside, you're not coming inside. Forces him wide there, and of course it's a whole different ball game. Here's the chance from before there. And again, I think this time actually it's the fullback, Jordi Alba, that comes across and just puts off the last player there to score a goal. So Spain have certainly been asked some real questions in this second half.
It's one of the better displays I can remember being put in against the Spanish team in recent times. What France have done here in the second half.
There's a little nutmeg through the legs there. That's, I thought, Cesc Fabregas going to be in here, but the goalkeeper very quick. Off his line, he sees it, slides in, and makes a comfortable save.
Well, Jeremy Menez has made his last contribution in this one. He's going to make way for Moussa Sissoko now. Sometimes described as a little bit like Patrick Vieira in his box-to-box qualities, Moussa Sissoko. High praise indeed. Plays his club football with Toulouse. An extraordinary game developing in Germany. Germany were 4-0 up against Sweden, and now it's 4-3. The Swedes firmly on the comeback trail. Now here's Benzema. Starting to get some joy up front now, Karim Benzema. Used to playing on this ground, of course. He comes here across the city with Real Madrid. And the conundrum that is Karim Benzema, unable to replicate his goal-scoring form for Real Madrid, where he became the top-scoring Frenchman ever last year with 21 goals. And his rate for country is less than half that for club. Here's Fabregas. Oh, it took a deflection. Lloris would have been wrong-footed and helpless.
Nice little move there, wasn't it? To get a little bit of space in midfield there. He's got Iniesta, he could have played. And again, the big defender. Mamadou Sakho's had a fine game. at the heart of the defence there, alongside Koscielny, who's, of course, had that nightmare challenge in the first half.
Xavi with the corner for Spain. Oh, Sergio Ramos. At least he was at least somewhat marked by Sacco. Still won the header in towering fashion, didn't he?
Yeah, he just kind of got free with the bodies there. Just got a little bit of a run on the defending player there, but the ball's a little high for him, can't control it.
Still remarkable. I think the only goal of this game coming as a result of that man getting free inside the penalty area. Xavi, delicately done for Pedro. I'm interested to hear Pep Guardiola saying that basically he feels now, in hindsight, it was a mistake to leave Pedro out of the Barcelona team at times last year in favour of the likes of Teo and Cuenca.
Yeah, I was surprised at it. I thought, you know, maybe it's something that we didn't know. He wasn't looking good in training. His form was off, and Pedro had a really disappointing year last year. But of course, now he's keen to make amends, and as we see there, a player that's very, very popular in this stadium, Fernando Torres, and it makes sense for him to get a run out as well. I think Fabregas has struggled really in this game to be that effective forward.
Well, if we don't see Fernando Torres tonight, you'll have a chance, we think at least, to see him on Saturday morning. Spurs against Chelsea, our next offering from the English Premier League. 7:30 AM Eastern on ESPN2 for that big London derby. What a cracker that should be. Jordi Alba on his way. Nice little cut back. Couldn't find any takers. And it remains delicately poised, this one. That's clever between Ribéry and Valbuena. And he's still full here for Ribéry. Oh, they were queuing up. There's been some elevation on that ball. There were 2 or 3 open white shirts. They're waiting Frank Ribéry's delivery. And now Ribéry trying to make amends. And bowls over Xavi.
Well, I know that Sergio Ramos scored the only goal in this game so far, but I tell you what, he's been immense at the back for them as well. There's been numerous times now in the second half that, not for him, France, I'm sure, would have had much more opportunities to score goals. Really, you look at Juan Fran and Jordi Alba, so keen to get forward. At times, they're nowhere at the back, and with the right pass for France, they could have had more chances.
Sissoko was lurking there to pick that off, and in a flash releases Benzema. Busquets for company. Benzema, a curler, nicely done. Oh, and Sissoko crashing in to meet it. Unable to keep his shot down.
Well, you see there from the replay, very close. I think he's just onside there, and Sissoko slowly making his way to the back post again. No fullback inside. Jordi Alba there, 5 yards away from Sissoko as he comes back, but you've got to expect a midfield player in that position to do better. Nobody's close enough to put him on there. He sees the ball coming right off the foot of Karim Benzema onto his favoured right foot. Just gets it all wrong.
He's been brought back into the fold by Didier Deschamps, has Moussa Sissoko. Made his debut in 2009. Left out in the cold for the most part by Laurent Blanc. It's just his 5th national team appearance, and that could have been his first goal. Pedro has been bottled up by Debuchy for the most part in the second half. Tweedy across to Ribéry. Now Valbuena. Ribéry. quite had his shooting boots on tonight, Frank Ribery. One of those that say that he should score more for his country as well. He's only got 11 goals in 68 appearances. But just listen to the reception this man is going to get. Returning home. A little bit of doubt at the moment as to who he's actually going to be replacing. I'm waiting to see if Pedro is going to be okay to continue.
No, he's just saying that he's okay because you don't want to make your final substitution and realise one of your players can't continue. So Pedro has just indicated there that he's okay, and Iniesta will go out of the game.
For the first time since June of 2007, Fernando Torres steps onto the pitch here at the Vicente Calderón. The man who captained the club team here, Atletico Madrid, at the age of 19. Scored 52 goals in this stadium. And that's 7th all time. He's had the chance to come back here in the intervening years, but missed all of those opportunities, twice with Liverpool and once with the national team, all through injury.
Yeah, they'll give you something a little different as well, a little bit happier to run in behind to threaten that back line. It's a high back line, isn't it, for France? And that's worked for them in this game. And Torres has got that little bit of sharpness and the cleverness just to maybe show to feet and spin in behind. And of course, the midfield players of Spain will be able to pick out those runs.
Torres trying to get involved for the first time, does get involved, but clips low on Koscielny. This is cap number 101 for Fernando Torres. At the age of 28, 31 goals for his country. And 2 at Euro 2008, 3 and the Golden Boot this past summer. Euro 2012, he also scored 3 in his first ever big tournament, World Cup in 2006. It's only South Africa, really, where he's disappointed in terms of the big stage. Spain a long way from putting the points to bed here in Madrid. France have come out with a resolute and proactive display in this second half.
I think for the most part as well, Adrian, in the first half it was the same style, and Spain just found it difficult to work that many chances. It wasn't, I mean, I think Pedro had a great chance in the first half. Other than that, I mean, this second half, Spain, I don't think they've really had a decent attempt.
Oh, Torres close to barging his way through there. That's hard to remember a genuine save, isn't it, from Hugo Lloris in this second half. Had to come up with some mighty big ones at the tail end of the first half, most notably the penalty stop from Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah, that could yet be the main defining moment if France can find a way to get a goal, and they've been a lot more likely in the second half. It just seems that the steam has gone out of Spain a little bit. The sharpness, the energy that they use to get the ball back so often is not working so much. Spain are getting more passes together, feeling better about themselves, developing the play more effectively.
Matthew Valbuena, whose father was actually born in Spain. Torres, on it goes promise here. Santi Cazorla onto Jordi Alba. The attack stalls. And now Valbuena trying to lead France the other way. Hauled in miraculously by Benzema. It was a soft touch. Now Ribéry. Ribéry did well. May fall here for Sissoko. Pulled out of the shot to tee up Benzema instead. Well, it promised so much more, didn't it, for France?
We'll give Karim Benzema a bit of a hard time in the first half, didn't we, about who he was, what sort of player is he, can he be consistent? I tell you what, we've seen him in this second half. What a lovely touch that is. It's awkward there to get any kind of touch on the ball, and it to be a soft one as well, to bring it down into his path was excellent.
Well, the French travelling support here, and they're not really known for having vociferous travelling support. I don't believe that this is still possible. Spanish media tagged this mission impossible for France. They were that confident that Spain would just roll over the French.
Well, I'll tell you what the French are doing now. They're rolling over Spain in midfield. Cesc Fabregas gone back in there, of course, as Torres is up front, but there's so many spaces in there without that holding player in the centre.
Well, astonishingly, Sweden have come from 4-0 down to get a 4-4 draw against Germany. When did Germany ever throw away a 4-goal lead, Robbie?
Thinking the same thing. I mean, what does that do to the Germans? The way that they play the game, my goodness, 4-0 up against Sweden. That's an unbelievable result.
And the United States against Guatemala to come later on for those of you watching in the United States. A double header of World Cup qualifying, if you will, on ESPN 2. USA needing just a point to secure their passage through to the hexagonal. Guatemala likewise. A point here would be oh so precious for the French if they could engineer one in the final 10 minutes.
I'll tell you what this does, though. It shows everybody is watching, that Spain are human, that you can get to them, that they're not going to dominate all games for all periods of time. That they do have weaknesses. In midfield at times they're silky and they're super technical, but they're, you know, when things aren't going well, they're not that strong and durable.
But here's Cesc Fabregas trying to reignite the Spanish. Xavi. Torres was just off balance as the ball came his way. Torres, who played in that game in 2006 where Spain went out to France, and in fact, if you look at the team from that day, Casillas, Ramos, Fabregas, Xavi, Alonso, Villa and Torres all played a part in that 3-1 defeat to a French team who was very different. It was almost signalling changing of the generations, if you will. France team were at the end of their period of dominance. And Spain, who hadn't even started theirs.
Santi Cazorla there making the challenge, just lashing the ball out the players, an indication of how this guy's team has struggled in this second half. Xabi Alonso's had to do so much work defensively to try and protect the back four. Here he is again trying to stop Ribéry.
Oh, Ribéry sneaking in again. Busquets though, making his way out of a jam. This long unbeaten streak of Iker Casillas continues. It's 728 minutes since he last conceded a goal coming into the game. So he's going to be up over 800 now. The world record, by the way, in that department held by Dino Zoff, and he's got some way to go to match that, over 1,100 minutes. Here comes Pedro for Spain. In the end, straightforward clearance from Mamadou Sakho. And all good work from Sissoko, who's been an influence since his appearance. Benzema and Ribéry again. Can France find the wherewithal to cap what has been an adventurous second half display by them? Benzema. He was already offside before he went up to try and meet it.
As they're coming together here, Sergio Busquets there knows that Benzema's behind him. The ball's played and he's half a body offside there, Benzema. And there's a little bit of contact just there as Iker Casillas comes out to claim the ball, but he has been much livelier in this second half. Karim Benzema really has. He's enjoyed the fact that they've had more possession of the football. That's the key thing.
They'll be desperate just to run this off and play up hard in the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Balancing act as always for the French required. Have to chase the game with ferocity, but can't leave themselves exposed at the other end. Particularly not against this team.
I think they've got the balance just about right, really. You're right, you can't just go gung-ho against Spain, but they've certainly had more of an attacking intent. The system is set up that they can get forward a little bit easier.
Fran up against Evra. Fabregas. Xavi back to Fabregas. Torres. Driving on, Fernando Torres. That was a pick move, wasn't it, from Cesc Fabregas?
I think for the most part, Mr. Birch has done a good job in the centre. The referee. Just watch Cesc Fabregas here. There it is. Look, the little push, the little shield to make sure Sarko can't get to the ball, and Fernando Torres can.
Olivier Giroud is going to see some action. Benzema, in fact, cannot continue. Hobbling off. Will always be the object of derision, a Real Madrid player coming to Atletico Madrid territory, but he's put in a good shift here, even if it's another one without a goal. It's no goals in 9 for him now.
Yeah, and a worry for Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho. Looked like he got a bang, wasn't it, on his knee, his left knee there, as Iker Casillas, his teammate at Real Madrid, came out in that collision.
An immediate collision involving the substitute Giroud, who's put Xavi Alonso on the ground. So can Giroud be the man for France? His only goal for his country came in a victory against Germany, albeit in a friendly in February of this year. He's had his struggles adapting to life in the Premier League with Arsenal, hasn't he, Giroud? But he'll be awaiting this cross with interest. Giroud almost got there too. In the end, it was Sergio Busquets who just nipped it in front of him.
There goes the ice on the knee or just below. It looks maybe on the shin there for Benzema. Looks in a lot of pain there.
Fabregas. A more accurate ball would have had Pedro in acres of space there. Sissoko. Evra onto Valbuena. Back to Evra it goes. Hemmed in by Busquets. Ribéry. France craving an opening.
Interesting, isn't it? You don't often see Spain digging in a home game against anybody to hang on for the 3 points. That's what they're doing. Full-back to stop getting forward.
Torres, out jumping Sacco. However, Ribéry. It's 4 for company. Ribéry! Oh, and he tried his luck at the near post. Casillas was alert, able to get it clear. He won it back. Matuidi teeing up Sissoko, who missed his kick horribly. Giroud keeping it alive. This is really bizarre stuff inside the Spanish penalty area, and again, something you so rarely see. Spain defending furiously here. And not with a great deal of composure. Valbuena opens this up. Matuidi across the face of goal. It didn't fall Giroud's way. Blaise Matuidi making a brilliant run into the inside left channel. And the crowd are baying for the whistle here.
Yeah, Spain absolutely stretched to maximum at the back. Desperate challenges inside their own penalty box. All over the place defensively, very little protection. Matuidi here, number 12, again getting forward.
Xabi Alonso trying to keep tabs on him, helped out this time by Juan Fran. Huge relief for the Spanish crowd. Pedro can't connect there with Torres, who brings down his man, and Spain perhaps have some more defending to do yet.
There he goes again, tracked all the way from Sergio Busquets. It's come across, there's a stretch from Sergio Ramos. Again, the man at the back for Spain, just literally holding things together. And Santi Cazorla, the nearest midfield player, that just to lash it to safety.
Handball is the verdict. Ribéry getting the decision he wanted. And Felix Birch handing out the yellow card. Juan Fran kicking the ball away. Defending France taking the free kick immediately. Well, it may actually do them a favour, a chance to get all the heavy weaponry forward now. Can Valbuena produce the right sort of delivery? Up goes Koscielny, and again. Who else? Sergio Ramos just belting it clear. And the chase is on here. Santi Cazorla. From a long way back, didn't he, to make up the ground there on Matuidi.
I was surprised. A little pace there we saw from Santi Cazorla. Getting across the ground very quickly there.
Didier Deschamps, who captained France to World Cup victory and a European Championship victory around the turn of the century. May not be leaving with any points here, but France will be proud of the way they played in this second half. Looks like it's going to come to nothing for them. 3 minutes of stoppage time had nearly elapsed, and Spain have a corner. Desperate to launch one last bid forward is Sissoko. Well, the referee allowed them the time to do so. It's broken down in any case, but Juan Fran is careless. He's given it away. Is there time here? Last chance saloon for France with Sissoko onto... Oh, it's there! They've done it! France have equalised. Ribéry teeing up Olivier Giroud. And in the most dramatic fashion imaginable, France have got their reward. Olivier Giroud sends the Blue Army into delirium.
Well, it's very, very late, but you could sense it might just happen. France have been so impressive in the second half, have been so close on many occasions. The last-ditch tackle, Sergio Ramos stopping them. It was an awful giveaway from Juan Fran. But again, look who produces at the end here. Frank Ribery puts the ball into the centre. The substitute, Olivier Giroud, much maligned in England because he hasn't scored goals for Arsenal, is in the right place at the right time, and it's a composed header, you know. The panic's going through his head as he sees the ball come across. He glances it into the far corner, and you talk about a reaction there from the manager and the players around them. Maybe France now are back with Didier Deschamps.
The man known as the charm striker in France, Olivier Giroud, with a massive goal for his country, and potentially a huge goal on the road to qualifying. Spain held here. This amazing run of the Spanish of consecutive victories in qualifiers has come to an end. Iker Casillas' shutout streak has come to an end. And you have to say, Robbie, it's no more than France deserved.
I think I agree with you, and it wasn't a great night for Spain. I never thought they were really at full tilt throughout the game. We didn't see much of Cesc, of Iniesta, of Xavi Hernandez. France continued their game plan, a very strong, compact, disciplined game plan, and it's come around, hasn't it? It's worked. Hugo Lloris as well, thanks to him, I'm sure, from every French player for saving that penalty.
An extraordinary end to the game with literally the last touch of the ball. France levelling matters against Spain. It finishes 1-1 in Madrid.
Stuff of legends, the Cup of Dreams. The FA Cup returns to ESPN. The UEFA Champions League.
Game on here. An extraordinary effort.
Exclusively live on ESPN, ESPN2, and ESPN3.com. Plus, get up to the minute on everything football on the new ESPNFC.com.
The Sounders continue to prepare for a playoff run when they host FC Dallas. Major League Soccer. Monday on ESPN2.
The NFL on ESPN storms into Week 7 with a huge matchup. The Seattle Seahawks have been one of the big surprises this season with their play. Now, the test is on when they head to San Francisco to battle the powerhouse 49ers. It's an NFC West showdown. Seahawks, 49ers, live Friday on ESPN, the home of the NFL.
LeBron James, if he had gone to college, Mike, where would he have gone? Come on, he'd have gone with me, which meant he would have won a national title.